Hi, today we welcome Ted, also known as Mr. Nice Guy. Welcome.
Thank you, doctor.
He's so multi talented that every time I talk to him, I learn something more. And it's by coincidence he landed in our organization. The first time he was interviewed by the administrator, they didn't select him. Second time, that administrator had taken leave, and I ended up interviewing him. Learning he was a college baseball player and would always smile, I knew that's the kind of people we want to add. Tell us a little bit about your baseball days.
I played high school baseball. 2 years I was a letterman there. And then that was in Utah, Orem High School in Utah. Yay, Golden Tigers. And then the weather there, I was always from native California. I wanted to come back down here to play baseball. My ultimate goal was to play at Pepperdine. So I started out at junior college at Moore Park College, played 2 years there. The junior playing at Pepperdine was pretty much out of it at that point, and then I became an assistant coach at Moore Park College as well.
Oh, wow. So you're an assistant coach too. Now, in baseball, one of the most important things is vision. Am I right?
Oh, correct. Yeah.
And they've done studies, and that's how we came up with wavefront LASIK, that the people who have the best vision are the Navy fighter pilots and baseball players. And that's what we try to emulate. And maybe that's what nudged Ted into the optical field.
Well, actually, what really nudged me in that was I was always a photographer.
Oh.
Okay.
See, one more talent,
Yeah.
photographer.
Yeah. And I started that in the 80s, and I loved photography. And a camera is just like the eye. I mean, you have a lens, just like your eye has a lens. The eye has a retina, where the camera has now with digital lenses, they have a sensor, but back in the day, it was film. So it works very similar, and that was where my passion kind of started from.
So, two things, right? Baseball, good vision, Navy jet fighters, good vision, and that's his specialty in photography, right?
Yeah, I like air shows. I like anything with action.
High speed airplanes, I've seen him take pictures of that. That's very good. So he came in as an optician, then has become an ophthalmic tech, assistant surgeries, also does multimedia marketing and everything, I think. But the most important thing is he cares about our patients, people who are, whether they want glasses or surgery. If he needs to turn up at odd hours in cases where patient can't accommodate their schedule, we both do.
Yeah, one of the things that really became my passion when it really hit me in the heart was this was probably 15 years ago. There was a child that was about 8 years old, and he never wore glasses in his life. And he had a fairly high prescription. I don't know if his parents neglected him or anything, but I put him on, and as I always tell him to look at the real world and the expression on his face. And I was worried because with a high prescription, he wasn't going to adapt very good to the optics of the lens. He looked at his mom and go, "There's a mountain over there."
Oh.
And that really hit my heart. And that's where really my passion started to come in and try to help people and help them with their vision.
And speaking of kids, our custom designed laser printed nylon frames work wonder in kids because they are lightweight and they can even be tied in the back. So that's where we are heading. So, and they, most importantly, because of face scanning technology from Apple using True Depth technology, which is soon going to come to Android, we can get all the parameters to custom fit the thing so the kids don't feel it uncomfortable. So if they're lightweight, comfortable, kids don't mind wearing, right? So in your 30 years of experience, what transition you have seen, because you were in the lab before, in both in the lab and in the front end of frames?
Frames, obviously, styles have changed. When I was there, they were really big. And frames were made out of Xyl, and today they're mainly made out of acetate. But nylon has always been a good one. Even Ray-Ban back in the day, their Wayfarer was a nylon frame. Lenses have definitely changed. Where it used to be when I was there, we were grinding with a diamond wheel the back of the lens to make the right prescription for the patient and then edging the frames. Now a lot of it is done digitally with a laser, and that's really advanced. Also imaging too, just what we do here as far as the OCT and fundus photos and everything like that. The imaging I think is amazing.
And in the frames itself, as you mentioned previously, it was what the big frames.
Yes.
Big frames mean big weight, unless they're nylon,
Right.
right? And the big advantage of this assimilated technology is there's no wastage, and we can design to your choice. So the problem currently is some designer sitting somewhere, maybe in Europe, Italy, or anywhere in the US, thinks this will look good and this should be the size. But that may not be your choice or may not be fitting your face accurately. So what do you do? Let's say this company I hear a lot about on the internet sends you 5 frames to your house. You choose one and you send the 4 back. But guess what? 80% people forget to send, and they end up with frames they didn't like to begin with, doesn't fit them right. So there's a very famous saying, measure 10 times and cut once. That's what we use in eye surgery. We do 10 times measurement, laser is done 1 time. So why we can't bring that same technology to eye frames, right? So why we have to send 5 frames there or make you wear 10? You could choose what you like, custom design it on our website, and taking help of people like Ted, you can see which would fit you best and which material would be best. Hey, if you want gold plated, you can get it gold plated, titanium, nickel plated. So the whole thing has changed. We have gone way beyond when you started 30 years ago, where you say, hey, these are the choices from these companies, you choose one. No, now you can be your own designer, your own producer, and the end goal, happiness, in one shot is achieved.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, and even maybe even some places today, it was always called it the 80-20 rule. Is that 80% of the frames were 20% of the frames that you had on hand. So this way, if somebody goes in there and says, "Hey, there's not anything I want," because it might be something outdated, but who cares? They want it. This way, they can design it.
Yes, because you said, oh, this went out of fashion, but whatever goes out of fashion comes back in a trend, right?
Oh, I've seen
like cat's eyes frames.
Oh, I've seen all kinds of stuff. Like, oh, that's coming back in again. It kind of rotates around.
That means now you can set the fashion.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.